Stanjabalisco here. A while ago, I switched from my Windows 10 toy to my iPad for the purpose of making videos, because the iPad has a better camera and gives better color and better resolution. And also it allows me to have this nice little fire in the background so I can give you fireside chats. The other thing, there was a giraffe in the background, and so I had to give you giraffe. Well, never mind. The point of this video, I'm not sure there is really a point, except I've been griping about modern technology quite a bit. And how old ham radio technology would be fun to go back to and just to be an antique freak. And I still may do that someday if I can ever get over these ailments that are confounding my life. I don't want to get into the old PMS, pity me syndrome. Don't pity me. Pity the people who are stuck with all these modern computers and obsessed with all these sophisticated devices that have all these neuroses that literally, for example, here's the microphone that I'm using. You can hear me fondling it with my fingers because I'm right on it. It has a flat side and a curved side. If you take a cross section of it, it'd look sort of like a half moon. And I always imagined that the flat side would be the side that should face towards my mouth, because it would be the side that picks up most of the sound. I don't know where I got that idea into my head, but it would represent the most sensitive side. There's no holes in it or anything. It's just plastic. At least that's what it looks like from the outside. I found out, I turned it around just to see what would happen, so that the flat side of the half moon was facing away from me and I was getting the rounded side towards my mouth instead, and I found my audio volume increased considerably. There was another thing that was happening too occasionally. The sounds of my voice and the motions of my mouth were not coordinated. Maybe you've observed that sometimes on videos or recordings of people where the sound is a little bit too late or a little bit too early, and even a tenth of a second can make it extraordinarily distracting to try to watch and listen to such a video, because it's just so bizarre that it draws so much attention to itself. And this iPad started playing that trick on me, and I tried killing the video and starting over and trying again. It turned out the thing goes to sleep when you shut the cover of the iPad. I have a special thing that protects it and has a cover I can close. It'll shut it off. But in order to get it, I just sort of didn't know what I was doing, but I just decided I'd try everything, right? Sort of like the click on everything in sight paradigm. Charlie, Oscar, Echo, India, Sierra. Click on everything in sight. It was sort of like kick everything in sight. And I won't give you the phonetics for that. I'll spare you that agony. But I decided to shut the whole thing down. Just shut it off. You know, you hold that little switch on the top down until the lights go out. The display goes black. Then you have to start it up again. Kind of like a cold boot. Cold boot to the Patoot. And wouldn't you know it, that solved the problem. Some little chip, some little micro, nano, pico chip inside of this sophisticated iPad decided that it was going to get some weird little nano, pico what's the next one down from that? I don't know. An octillionth of a volt on one of those little terminals, little printed circuit board terminals, was going to screw up my speech with my motions of my mouth. I mean, like, what happens if the same thing were to occur in my cerebral cortex? Oh, God, don't even go there, Stanley. But that is modern technology for you. A speck of dust, a proton in the wrong place, a Higgs boson gone astray, a neutrino that isn't nutritious, and somehow or another, it'll screw up your whole life. The old tube radios where I had to get that Hallicrafter's SX130, that Viking Adventurer transmitter and its Nightkit VFO, and even the keyer that I would eventually use. Well, you couldn't use a keyer with the Viking Adventurer because it was cathode keyed. It would fry the keyer relay. So I used a straight key, a brass pounder. All that equipment was tube-based, vacuum tubes. And those little electrostatic, what do you call those little transients on the power line? They might completely discombobulate your computer, but they'd have no effect at all on those tube radios. A little bit of static spherics here, a little bit of spherics there. The tube radios could stand a lot more boots to the patoot than these modern, up-to-date, sophisticated, millennial-type thingies like the one I'm using to make this video. Now that's one thing the Hallicrafters and the Viking Adventurer would never do. I couldn't make videos. How did I ever survive? How could I have ever lived through such deprivation as that? I don't know, but I did. And so could you. And so could we all. Stan Gibilisco signing off. Until next time, so long.